Okay, so good morning again, everyone. My name is Liz Garcia. I'm founder of the Mind, Body, Spirit Network, and I help conscious, service-based solopreneurs, just like many of you, kind of reimagine, up-level, and leverage your online marketing efforts through simple SEO, search engine-based content marketing strategies and social media that I leverage within the context of a community, which is the mindbodyspiritnetwork.com. And every week we meet here online for a little business networking gathering. And every week we have a feature presentation. And once a month, at least, I like to bring in one of our Mind, Body, Spirit Network members to present what I call a lighthouse presentation. So I call it a lighthouse because they are our beacon of light today. And Miss Deborah is no exception to that one. She is absolutely a beacon of light. And Deborah, you are, let me just pin my video here. So let me just give you a little lowdown on Sassy Deborah. And I got to spend a few days with her when she came to visit Colorado last week. So we got to see each other live and in person, which was fun. All right, hold on, my video is misbehaving. Okay, so shoot, sorry you guys, hold on one sec. Something's going on with my video. All right, so let me tell you about Deborah Edwards was introduced to the concept of living your best life during a dark time. Several personal tragedies and a stressful work environment led her to serious health problems that presented in her heart, but affected her overall health. A friend invited Deborah to Oprah's Live Your Best Life weekend, and so the healing began. There, she learned that she is the powerful inventor of her life. Deborah was especially touched by the teachings of Dr. Deepak Chopra. After enrolling in several classes at the Chopra Center, she was intrigued by the science and tenets of Ayurveda, developed a passion for meditation, and decided to become a certified in perfect health. Knowing these practices saved her life, so Deborah set out on a mission to share what she learned to help as many people as possible on their own healing journeys. Deborah is a premier member of what I call the High Vibe Tribe at the Mind, Body, Spirit Network. So Deborah, off to the races, my dear.
Yay. Well, thank you so much, Liz. And I am so excited to be with you guys today. And hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun. So yeah, everything that Liz said is true. I was in the throes. It was to the point where I absolutely did not want to live. And I just didn't have anywhere to turn. I really didn't. And so I don't know if you've ever gotten to the point where stress is just taken over. You don't feel like you're being successful at work or even at home, or you feel like the stress that you're experiencing is permeating your whole life. Well, that's where I was, and am so excited today to share with you some techniques that will help you, if that's where you are, that will help you go through your day in a less stressful way. You can implement these 3 techniques immediately, and the benefits are immediate. So Liz told you a little bit about my story. So what ended up happening to me is I walked in one day and my boss started doing whatever he was doing. And I was like, oh, no. This is not true. This is not my truth. I don't want to live this way anymore. And so I started that very moment to take steps to move out of that situation. And this was even actually before I started going to the Chopra Center. So then I got my ducks in a row. I talked to my financial planner, talked to my banker, talked to my doctor, made sure everything was in alignment. And then I went into my boss's office 2 weeks later and said, I am retiring effective this date. And so I tell you that story because I really loved what I did. I really did. I have been working in the corporate world for over 30 years, for almost 15 years at the company that I was with when I quit. And I was moving on up that ladder. So about every 2 years or so, I would get a new position. And then all of a sudden it stopped, and I was not prepared for that. I had no idea how to deal with not being, feeling competent and confident. And so that's what started my journey. So again, I wanted, and so then when I got out of went to the Chopra Center and all of that, I kept learning all of these techniques. I kept learning the techniques in Ayurveda, which is a 5,000-year-old healing system from India. And I started hearing about all these techniques, and I started hearing about the science of Ayurveda and how we need to consider ourselves a mind and a body and a spirit. That is us as a whole person. And when one of those gets out of balance, that's what creates disease. And that's exactly what I was seeing that was happening with me. I, again, started experiencing heart palpitations. My blood pressure started going up. And I don't remember if this is when, but either then or shortly thereafter, I was diagnosed with diabetes, which all of these things are stress-related illnesses. And then I went to the Chopra Center, and I cannot believe how many times, and this gets me a little bit verklempt, but I cannot tell you how many times I was sitting in there with Deepak Chopra and saying to myself, oh my gosh, if I would have known this, I could have kept a job that I loved. I could have had tools to deal with all of this that was coming to me. And I had this overwhelming feeling that I wanted to share it with other people because I did not want anybody else to feel like I felt. That was ridiculous that I felt like I wanted to leave this world. So not only was I dealing with that stress, but I was also dealing with the stress of the death of my two parents. And both my parents and I were extremely close. And I did not have, actually, we were so close, I didn't even actually have completely the tools to deal with life without them. So I was dealing with their deaths along with this, whatever it was happening in the workplace, and I was lost. So that is a little bit of background. So today I'm going to share with you 3 tools besides drinking, because I did a lot of drinking during that time. I was telling Liz, I was drinking one of those, my drink of choice was Crown, and I was drinking a whole lot of it every week. And, and that, of course, that didn't contribute to my health. So we're going to have a little bit more healthier ways of dealing with that. So before we get started, what I want to do is let's just get a little bit grounded. Let's kind of shake it off. And if you would just get comfortable, comfy, comfy, comfy. And then you'll learn you don't have to sit cross-legged on the floor to have a nice little meditation. And if you would, put your left hand over your heart and your right hand over your stomach. Take a deep breath through your nose and exhale through your mouth with a sigh. So inhale. Inhale again. And then now just quietly put your focus to your heart. Maintain a nice, comfortable breath. And repeat after me to yourself. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be kind. May I be loving. May I be loved. And let's remember all those that are connected with us today and share the same hope for those that are with us. And repeat after me again, may we all be happy. May we all be healthy. May we all be loving. May we all be loved. And may we all be kind. And as you return your attention to your breath, just lower your hands to a comfortable position. And just put your focus on your breath for a moment. And then as you're ready, open your eyes. So I hope that feels good. So well, let's get started. I'm going to share with you today 3 tactics that you can implement immediately to reduce your stress level in the workplace, or even if it's just your stress level, because we all experience stress. I'm focusing maybe on the workplace a little bit, but some of us take our workplace with us. Some of us work at home. Some of us don't work, but we still experience stress. So the first tactic that I'm going to share with you is when you first get up in the morning, set yourself up for a nice and full day. So when I was in my stressful situation that I was telling you about, I'd be laying in bed, the alarm would go off, and actually, before the alarm went off, I would start thinking, okay, I've got to get that report into Dan. I've got to do this. I've got to have that meeting with my staff. This is what we're going to do during that meeting. Before I even put my feet on the ground, I started moving, it started pulling from my cup. My cup was, full. And then, because I had the nice restful sleep, and then before I even really opened my eyes, started draining that cup. So what we want to do, this first tactic, is to create a morning routine that allows you to be fortified and full before you even get out that door. So this is what I call my morning routine. And if you look on my website, there is a free download for your morning routine. But what I do in the morning, and what I started doing back then, actually I didn't have enough information to do it back then, but I started the 21-day meditations that Oprah and Deepak Chopra were having. So what I did is, before I did anything, I left work, I created a morning routine. I got up and I started my RPMs. And so my RPMs, most of us say revolutions per minute, but I would rise, pee, and meditate. So before I even got started with anything, I'd get up, go to the bathroom, do what I had to do in there, stumble into the living room where I, and I used my phone, a timer on my phone for meditation, and I would meditate. So that was automatic. I didn't think about anything but getting up, go to the bathroom and meditate. And then after that, I would do what I needed to do, take my shower, eat, and then leave myself enough time in the morning to not get to the office at the last minute. So give yourself that time, set yourself up for not being stressed out on the way. Before I started doing my RPMs, I would get up as late as possible, hit the snooze as many times as possible. I'd have to run to get to get to work. I wouldn't eat breakfast. I'd stop at the gas station. They're called Sphinx gas stations around here. I'd get some bacon and a sausage biscuit and keep it moving. Eat it at my desk before I got started. And I started my day off like boom, 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 boom. But with the RPM method and your morning routine, and you can decide what you want to include in your morning routine. You may want to include touching base with your mom before you go to work, but give yourself enough time that it doesn't have to be the boom, 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 boom. So I think Liz put a link to my morning routine in the chat box. If you're interested in that, that would be a great way to get it started.
Let me interrupt 1 second, Deborah. People that are new to Zoom, if you mouse down over the bottom of your screen, you'll see an icon that says chat. And then you can see the link that I shared to Deborah's. It's on her Mind, Body, Spirit Network listing page. And if you scroll down, you'll see her morning routine. You can opt in for that and download it. So just so everyone knows, if you don't know how to use Zoom, that's where you'll find the chat.
Right here. But anyway, so the other thing that, and what you said, okay, meditate. Well, I started meditating with the 21-day meditation that Oprah and Deepak offers. I have another tool that I use still today. It's called the Insight Timer. And it will allow, you can kind of see the little bell right there. But it will allow a lot of different things. There's a timer that you can use, and I'm offline now, so it's not going to work. There's a timer that you can use and set for how long you want to meditate, and it's free. So I made like this right before I started this call. I did a quick meditation for 5 minutes just to get myself centered. So you can set it for whatever you want. So I recommend that when you start your meditation, use something like this. And let me show you this too, if I can.
Deborah, tell me the name of that app again.
It's Insight Timer. It's INSIGHT.
Okay.
And timer. And it also has, I want to say millions, but it has thousands and thousands of guided meditations that you can access that will give you an opportunity. There was one day when my root chakra was completely blocked, and I went into the Insight Timer and pulled out a meditation that was just for the root chakra blockage. So I would definitely recommend that as a tool, especially when you're first getting started.
So Deborah, quick question. How did you know your root chakra was blocked?
I used the pendulum. And so I was going through all of my chakras to see what was going on because I was feeling kind of woogie. And at the root chakra, it didn't move at all.
That's a great tool. Do you have your pendulum handy there, Deborah?
No, in fact, I can't find it. I think I took it with me traveling. It may have left it somewhere.
Okay, just maybe tell people a little bit about the pendulum thing while I have you here, because that's a good tool.
Well, I don't know a lot about the pendulum thing. I know that it is, and probably, is it Linda? Linda, can you take a minute? Because I think you have a little bit more of an understanding of the pendulum. Let me unmute you here real quick. You got her? There. Okay.
All right. So working with the pendulum, I like to work with a pendulum that's a natural crystal because it just gets in tune with my energy field. I carry it with me everywhere, even if I don't even use it. It's just always with me. So you can get yes, no, and maybe answers from a pendulum. So you can say later maybe how you were clearing your chakras to know which ones were blocked, how it worked for you. But what I do is, I'll just hold the pendulum over my hand, and I will ask, show me yes. And it'll either go up and down my hand, sideways, or in a circle. I don't know if you could see that. So I'll hold it, I'll ask it, show me yes. It does what it does. I always say thank you, and it returns right back to straight. And then I say, show me no, and show me maybe. So 3 different directions. And then you see what you get. That's it. But you need to ask a very clear yes.
Whoops.
And I found when I've asked a question that wasn't clear, my were you not seeing my hands before? My pendulum would like bounce. It's like, I'm telling you, it's so in tune with me that it gets like confused. So anyway, if right now my yes is up the length of my hand, my no is across my hand, and my maybe is a circle. But it changes now and then. So I'm just saying that because sometimes, and always you want to ask it a question, you know the answer. Like, it's snowing today. You get a yes. Like, I'm a female. I'm 30, I'm 40, whatever years old. Ask it questions to see if you're getting a true answer, yes or no. When you know you have your yes or no direction, ask away. But just ask them questions.
Cool. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, the pendulum is a great tool when you just need a little extra guidance. And Deborah, I love that you used it over your
chakras.
Yeah, over your chakras. That's fantastic. All right. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
We like these tools. These are super simple tools and they're fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And so let's go with tactic number 2. Let me see how I'm doing here. Tactic number 2. This is the one that I call stop the madness. And this is the one that Beth, you could have used maybe in Whole Foods yesterday. And so this is, one of those situations where you are like stressed out because you're up against a wall. Where this typically happened to me a lot of times is maybe I had a presentation or I had a meeting set up and the technology wasn't working. I forgot my notes. Somebody that was key to the meeting didn't show up. Somebody that is in the meeting is, being very combative and just very in my face. And so the natural thing to do, or the natural thing for me to do at the time, was to say, you stinky butt, no, you're not blah, 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 and to just come back with that same combative attitude. And you know what that does? All that does is it's like stress level 1, stress level 2, stress level 3, stress level 4. So you want to not absorb the stress level when it comes at you, but you want to deflect it. So you don't go up to another level. So there's a couple of techniques that I use when I get into that situation now. One of them is, if you can, depending on what the situation is, and I always call this, I know I have all these funny words for things that I do, but when I start feeling it, you start feeling it physically in your body. You start feeling it in your heart. You start sweating. You start maybe, not speaking as clearly as you like. You can feel your heartbeat. What I always do in that situation is I say, stop, hammer time. Okay, and I know that's just my little keyword that I do, but I do. It's like, whoa, okay, stop. It's hammer time. You're going to stop the progression of the stress. You're going to take a deep breath, maybe 3 or 4 deep breaths. You're going to see how that feels in your body, because you can feel when you're getting stressed out. So you can see you're taking a deep breath, and you can actually even do this when Joe Schmo is in front of you casting that stress your way. And all you need to do is just not react, take a few deep breaths. And, you know, if you're in the situation where, and this is another one that I do, and nobody can see it, I'll take a few deep breaths. I'll put these together, which really gathers the energy for you. And you can even do this under the table. Stop, hammer time, get my hands together down here, take a few deep breaths, feel my body, and then respond. So what happens in that situation is you have a tendency not to raise the level of the stress, but to lower your stress level. And actually, it's a gift to everybody else in the room too, because it lowers the stress level of everybody else. Because have you been in a meeting or even at a family gathering? Because I got that kind of family. Been at a family gathering and Uncle Joe says, well, this meat is a little tough. And everybody just looks at mom and says, okay, well, it's been to go down. Well, you know, and mom will say, you know, whatever. So however she reacts, this can happen in any area of your life. And using this mudra, and Laureen, my friend, I told her, yeah, you were getting on my nerves. So I had my little hands down here and you didn't even see it. And, you know, and you don't. So that's a nice way to relieve stress. If you have the ability to leave the room or even just to close your eyes quickly and connect with your breath until the tech guy gets here and fixes the problem, that's a great way to stop hammer time yourself. So
Deborah, I have to tell you, while you're talking, I'm holding the mudra and I'm totally just blissing out over here. So
awesome. And so one of the, I guess I want to tell you a little bit about how this deep cleansing breath works. So when you take a deep breath like that, what that does is it activates your hypothalamus. And it's connected to the pituitary gland in the brain, and it sends hormones that stops the production of hormones that indicate stress. So it's actually a physical reaction. It's actually a physical, scientifically proven method of reducing your stress. And so real quickly, I'm just enjoying talking too much. I'm one of them people, I guess, that love to hear yourself talk. But anyway, so the third tactic, and this is a solution that I bring to the table or that I offer you for when your stress is building up, and carrying into your regular life. You know, maybe you're getting all of this stress at work. And I had a friend that came to me and said, I am blaming those precious little girls of mine, and I am being mean to them when I come home from work, and it is breaking my heart. She said, I tried and I tried and I tried. And she goes, I recognized it. You know, I could see myself yelling at them for no reason. They're little girls. And I tried to stop it. I tried to get, you know, after recognizing it, I said, I cannot do this. I'm not going to do this anymore. But it just kept on happening. So I actually suggested that she try another tactic. And you can do this however way you do, you know, and Laureen, you could do this before they come in from school. What I suggested to her is that before she gets out of the car, you know, well, I suggested at first that when she leaves work and before she starts a car, just take a 3-minute break. She doesn't have to close her eyes. She doesn't have to, you know, sit cross-legged on the floor and do a mudra or anything like that. Just stop. Complete silence. Do nothing. you can just look around. You don't have to be, you know, super still or anything, but just stop the forward motion. And then drive, and you may get a little bit of stress along the way, depending on how, you know, where you live and how your drive is. And then I just advised her to sit in front of the driveway. Before she walks in the door, take 3 minutes, and you can use your Insight timer to do that, or your regular timer on your phone. Just set 3 minutes and just reset and calm and be calm. And just understand that you're leaving your troubles at the door. You're leaving your troubles at the office. And what that is doing, it's allowing you to leave room to love more. So actually my friend started using this technique, and it helped her so much that her husband started asking, "What's up? What are you doing? You're different when you come home now." And she said that her husband really was wanting to ask and find out a little bit more about meditation too. So it can be that easy and that powerful, and the benefits are immediate. So so those are the 3 tactics. I just wanted to give you a few minutes to share, you know, if you have any questions. One of the things that I wanted to offer you today, just for being here, is a free one-on-one stressed out to blissed out strategy session that will allow you to carry this a little bit further. So I do personal consulting during that first stressed out to blissed out session that I was mentioning, which by the way has a value of $200. But during that first session, we're going to be doing an individual Ayurvedic assessment of what you need to do to reduce your stress level, or even to connect with what you want and your true desires in your life. So I'm going to offer that to you free. The assessment is going to be included in that first one, and then we'll look at some other indicators of where you need to concentrate to start actually building your best life. I know your life is good. It may not be as good as you'd like it to be, but it can be so much better. And I would love the opportunity to talk to you to see if maybe I can help you get there. So I believe that, yes, Liz has put in the chat box the scheduling link to schedule an appointment with me. And I would love to talk to you then. So right now, I guess we want to just open it up to any questions, any conversation. John, I know you have something to say, so.
You know, I love the tools that you gave. They're very simple and straightforward. And just checking in with your breath and being in the present moment can really help let go of the upsets from the past and the anxiety or the fear of the future. So being present is something that we need to remind ourselves to do and to be. Sometimes it's easier said than done, but it's just a very good starting place for getting back in control of the way your body responds to stress. And we each do that in a habituated way.
So John, do you have a particular, I know one of the things that just stopping and returning to your breath is a good way to get into the present. Is there another quick tactic that you would suggest to make sure that you're pulling back into the now?
Well, breath or movement, one that requires you to really stay focused in your body in the present way. So when I take a deep breath, I ask people to consider pausing, holding their breath for just a moment, and perhaps noticing as they inhale, feeling cool air with the breath that they inhale. Mm-hmm. And then as they release the warm air, they can imagine that they're letting go of stress or anxiety or pain, and they can just begin to release that. And just by spending that time to really look carefully for a cool inhale and a warm exhale, that tends to make you more present as well.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Thanks, Cheryl. Did you have a question?
I unmuted Cheryl, I think.
Hi, Deborah, can you please tell us again about something about we were raising our hands and the pineal, or it helps balance the hormones, or that you were like raising your hands as you were breathing in, or talking about right up here?
No, that's my,
It's you?
that's me talking. I swear I'm Italian, but no, actually what that is when you start getting that breath and infusing your body with that breath, what that does is it activates your hypothalamus.
Okay.
And it's connected to the pituitary gland, and that sends hormones to the wait, let me say this the right way.
Yeah.
It sends a message to the stress producing hormones to stop producing. So the benefits of doing that, and as you do that more and more, and that's why I ask you to check in with your body, because it's not like this necessarily, depending on how stressed you are. But as you start breathing, it's starting to send that message, and your hormones are saying, what? And then it sends that message with the next breath. Okay, I get it. And then as you continue, then the stress hormone starts reducing.
Thank you. I thought that was very interesting. So thank you for explaining that a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Really helpful.
So Deborah, you're saying just the breath alone is starting to trigger the chemistry in the brain, or the signals in the brain.
Yes.
Okay. And then this mudra is helping to kind of enhance that, right? Right.
This is helping to enhance that by focusing the energy. And this is one of the things I call it just setting a mudra. This is another thing to get you present.
Yeah.
And so, yes, that, and this is the energy.
I want to share one other mudra that I just do naturally. And I notice, you probably notice you do it yourself. Men do it a lot. They probably don't know what they're doing. If they're sitting in a boardroom, they're kind of doing this, right? Mm-hmm. Right. I do this. I've done this my whole life, and I didn't realize it was a hand mudra.
Yes.
And this hand mudra activates all of the chakras and balances them all. So this is like the go-to balancer of all of them that I did inadvertently. And then I got the book. I'm like, hey, I've been doing it the whole time. Just kind of interesting. And it's super simple, and you may find you already do it. But now that you know, yes.
This is an awesome book.
Really good.
And, I love it because it gives you, all kinds of information on the mudras. But those are, I'm just learning a lot about some of these mudras. But, they're powerful.
Super. And there's some for every condition. It's kind of cool. There's a mudra for many conditions, whatever it may be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I wonder what the stress mudra is. I know there's one there's probably a bunch that handle that.
Yeah.
This one for sure.
I think this would.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's a lot of multi-purpose mudras, that's for sure.
Yeah. And then this Buddha mudra, the Buddha.
Oh, yeah.
That one reduces it as well.
Cool. I like that.
So anybody else have any questions?
Linda, you deal with a lot of stressy people. Do you have anything you'd like to contribute? And you've done a lot of meditation groups as well.
Yeah, for me, the easiest thing is just always connecting to your breath. That life force that comes into you. So I just bring in light with the breath, and it works every time.
Thank you.
I like to keep things simple.
Yes.
Exactly.
Seriously. I like to be a contortionist and hold 7 mudras at once, and then some on my feet, and then hold my breath. That's what I do.
Oh.
Everything's hard for me, let me tell you. I make it. And I forgot to share my go-to remedy today.
Oh, what is it? Oh, I think I know.
What?
Play with the pups.
Well, yes, but last night it was a box of Ghirardelli double chocolate brownie mix.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
said to myself, as I was making it, don't eat the whole box. And I didn't. I had two, and that was enough. I'm like, oh, that was pretty good. I guess it wasn't that. My stress is much better managed.
Oh, and I don't know if I should say this, but I have been experiencing a lot of stress and a lot of emotions for the last week. And Linda, can you share with us why, or one of the things that's going on today especially? Oh, let me unmute. Yeah, hold on. I'm not so good at this.
Hello.
Yeah, there you go.
I actually didn't read that whole article I sent you.
Anyway, okay. I read.
But it
Go
is
ahead.
energies. I mean, the planet's going through major changes energetically. And sometimes we pick up on this and it really affects us in our day-to-day life. So sometimes it's not just you're thinking it's just me. No, it's like planetary. There is this energy that is affecting you, especially us or those who are, awakened and are very sensitive to energy. So sometimes it's really not those little things that your mind is thinking is going on. Sometimes it's a little bit bigger than that. And so always do all of these things Deborah is sharing today.
And I was, believe me, I was taking baths, I was meditating, I was like, this is not me, what's going on? And so I do appreciate you sharing that with me, because is today the solstice?
Oh, yeah, the 20th.
Yeah.
We also just had another big moon event recently, right?
We did? What was it?
On the 17th. I don't remember, but there was a lot of chatter about that one out there.
Well, drunken Irish people, too.
Ah!
Those have a lot of energy, those drunken Irish people.
Yeah.
Stay in the new
Especially
moon.
when they do Irish yoga in a bar. Have you guys seen that t-shirt? It's hysterical.
No.
Okay, that's a good thing where that pendulum will come in handy. Like when you're like just distraught, you're like, and you start blaming yourself, because that's what we do. It's like, oh, it's me. I'm the one who's the problem child. When in fact, it's not. It's more planetary. Get the pendulum out and say, is it me? No. Stop thinking it's all, the universe revolves around you, Lizzie.
You and me both.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that was a relief for me, and I could let it go. And, even not even having to try to do all of these things, the only thing I didn't do, and I was planning on doing it this afternoon, was getting out in nature to take a hike.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so, while we have Cheryl here, is there anything planetarily that you're aware of? You usually are tapped into this stuff.
Oh, thank you. Well, the new moon was on St. Patrick's Day. And that's always the time of new beginnings. So I don't know if you guys felt release happening, but usually at the new moon, there's release happening, a doorway opening, and then we should have felt a little bit of a movement on receiving. So just to let you know, I think it was probably that in-between state that we're all talking about, where something's leaving, exiting, and something's entering.
I experienced that this morning. I was taking an online yoga class, and the teacher was up in the Aspen Mountain.
oh,
And it was awesome. Okay, you know what? I want you, Deborah, to tell us a little bit about your Ayurvedic assessment, because I think that's really interesting. And people here may not be aware that all of us have an Ayurvedic constitution. Maybe you could tell us a little bit more about that.
yeah. And what we're doing is, in Ayurveda, the body types are really associated with the elements in the air. So the elements, that air, water, earth, and combinations of those. And so what happens is that we all are born with a certain constitution that is a combination of all of these elements. And based on those combinations, we have different tendencies of things that are nurturing to us and that are disturbing to us. And at any time, and the three doshas, or the three main doshas, are Vata, which is more airy and creative, and then Pitta, which is more, a combination of wanting to get things done, and the Kapha, and these are generalizations, so don't, Kapha is going to be more structured, to be able to provide security and those types of things. And all of us are a mixture of all of those, or all three of those body types.
So quick question, Deborah, is the Pitta the fire element?
Yes.
And then Kapha is earth?
Kapha is earth, yeah, earth and water.
Earth and water, okay.
And yeah, and Vata is air.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're all a combination. Is
We're
anyone,
all,
is
yeah,
anyone
well,
just one of those?
Do what?
Is anyone just one of those?
No.
Okay.
No, rarely. I mean, they could be like extremely high Vata and very low in some of the other ones. Like for me, for instance, I'm a bit of Vata, and those are almost as high as they can go. And then my Kapha is really, really low.
But that's just who you are. That's
yes, and some people are tridoshic, so they're an even combination of all three. So, and what the significance of those are is that when you're out of balance with any of those doshas, then you start creating, the imbalance starts creating negative impact on your body and your mind and your spirit. So based on what dosha you are, that is how we recommend the activities that you need to do to get yourself back in balance.
Cool.
So I didn't want to get deep into it, but that's just the basic.
So during this strategy session, you're going to have like questions that you'll ask us about different, what's the assessment like? You're just going to ask.
Well, the assessment is a series of questions that I will ask you that tend to indicate or point to what your dosha is. Okay. So like one of the questions are, and do you tend to work by yourself? Do you tend to, prefer to work with other people? Do you tend to be the leader when you're working with other people? Just easy life questions that you can think about yourself and say, yeah, I do that. Yeah, this is my go-to when I have this situation. Or, like I'm a Pitta, when things start getting out of balance for me, I get pretty angry and I can get pretty nasty and I can get pretty, and so I know that about myself, knowing my constitution. So when I'm out of balance, then all I do is I instigate tactics that's going to allow me not to be that way. Not to be nasty, not to be angry, not to be confrontive. So that's how it all works there. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. So every dosha type has particular kind of symptoms that would show up if you're out of balance. Like for you, it's anger. Then you're like, okay, it's hammer time, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And like say for kaphas are very, first of all, it's hard for a kapha to get out of balance, but they're very low key, they're very solid, but when they're out of balance, they want to sleep all the time and they don't want to be bothered. They want to get off by themselves. And, and then that's not the way that we want to be in the world, maybe if we're a kapha. And really, to be honest with you, you're not going to be successful in the world if you're sleeping all the time, or if you're always
really?
We won't ask your doggies, but, so then as a kapha, when you notice that you're out of balance, then we can suggest specific strategies that will allow you to return to balance and to operate fully in your dosha.
Cool. So you're just going to work with people on sort of activity-based things, not necessarily nutrition and stuff. Are you going to dive into nutrition as well? Because that's an
I will dive into nutrition on a higher level.
Yeah.
I'm not an Ayurvedic nutrition expert, so I would never say that I could give you, but I do know some of my colleagues that are nutrition experts, so I could even refer someone to someone that's having a specific issue.
Cool. So you're just going to really deal with some basics to get people understanding their dosha type and trigger points.
Right. I mean, not just trigger points, but, ways of keeping your balance, keeping yourself, happy, connecting with your conscious mind in order to allow you to move through the world in the way that you want to create the life that you want. A lot of us, even people that are aware of their doshas, are not aware of the power that we have in our life. Say, for instance, just as an example, when I was working at that last company that I was with, you know what? When I went to the Oprah's Live Your Best Life tour, he's like, well, you're the one that gets to choose. I'm like, what? And then I started thinking about that. I'm not happy here. I'm not loving my life. Who's running my life, me or whoever it is that says I need to stay in this situation? So after I came to that realization that it's me, one to a coffin, not 2, 3, 4, 5, especially 2, 3, or 4, or 5 ghosts that I don't even know who they are. Once I came to the realization that I get to choose, I said, enough of this. This is not what I want my life to be. And so I just took action, but it takes so many steps for some of us to even realize that we have that choice and that power. And when you realize that you have that choice and that power, the next step is to realize, what is it that I really, really want? And how do I get there from here? Because even just that realization is the first step.
Cool. All right, we got 4 more minutes, and then we're going to wrap it up. If anyone has any other questions. Linda, you already always have good stuff to chime in if you'd like. If no one has questions, you guys are free to go, and we will record this and upload it. Deborah will share it in her social groups. We'll share it in a blog on the Mind, Body, Spirit Network, as well as YouTube, Facebook, the whole 9 yards.
And again, I want to thank everybody for coming. I really enjoyed this, and I really enjoyed sharing. And believe me, I'm here to help you.
Okay.
If I would have been able to get help, I would have been just so blessed. So I do invite you again to come in and schedule your stressed out to blissed out session.
Definitely. Deborah is, oh yes, go ahead, Linda.
No, I just wanted to just say that I really enjoyed listening to Deborah, and you can just feel her energy.
Yeah.
Right? It's really, really great. Thank you, Deborah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to thank Deborah. Deborah just went through a pretty significant speaker training, and this is her first official talk on the Mind, Body, Spirit Network, and I want to thank you. Yay, Deborah. I want all of you to schedule a session with Deborah because she needs practice. All right, give her some practice, and that voice of hers alone is just like, I care what she's saying, but I just get tuned into the voice. I'm like, oh. I'm going to schedule mine for sure. So schedule your freebie with Deborah so you can get the good mojo and see what's going on. Joe, hold on. Joe, you're muted. Go ahead.
I was talking, and it was just, some people wish that they could do that to me a lot.
Oh, exactly. How can I shut her off? You don't want to do that.
Fucking. How do we schedule with Deborah? I'm not seeing anything like on the outside of my screen because I'm just on my phone.
Oh, can you see a chat box in the phone, Joe? There's a chat box icon at the bottom of your screen, maybe. I don't know how it works on a phone.
Oh, okay.
Are you seeing that?
Yeah, and it's popping up so I could.
There's a link.
In. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Do you know, will that disappear when this is over? So I need to be able to see it now.
Yeah. Or just click on the link, Joe, and just save it, you know, save the link in a favorites or something, I don't know, in your history. Or Deborah will share that in an email.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
And I'm going to share the video and the link in an email. I think, Joe, you might be on a list that I'm managing that you will get that link. Let me just see real quick if I have you here, Joe. I don't have you here, so you must be on Deborah's list somewhere. Or Deborah, are you on Deborah's Facebook group, her meditation Facebook group yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh, no? Okay. So you guys.
I'll get it to you, Joe. I'll message it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
All right, cool. We have 1 more minute. And then my high vibe tribers, you guys going to stick around. I'm going to do a little book review today. That'll be fun.
Well, thank you so much, you guys. I will get going and let you guys get to your stuff. I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm just super blessed to have had the opportunity to hear all of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a great day.
See you soon, I
Bye,
hope.
everybody. All right, we're wrapping up.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Okay. High vibe tribers, you're going to stick around. Everyone else is going to, once everyone leaves, we'll get started.
So Lorraine's probably, otherwise, can I get her off?
I think I can remove her. Yeah, I'm going to take her off right now, Deborah.
Okay.
You're still recording, Liz.
Okay, thank you.